Yeah. So, since we got the drops, let's just talk about wide receivers next, right? I mean, Jeremiah Smith comes in, 6 receptions, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think I saw on the TV the last time a 2 touchdown true freshman wide receiver was what, 1996.
Yeah.
So just absolutely amazing. Carnell Tate gets him a touchdown, 4 catches, 58 yards. Mecca Ibuka, 4 catches, 51 yards. No touchdowns, but I still felt like he had a pretty good day. You liked what you saw for the most part. And Bryson Rogers, Jaden Ballard also had 1 catch for 6 yards and 9 yards. What were your thoughts
hmm
overall on the wide receivers, Mike?
Yeah, wide receivers definitely. I want to hear that they doing what Marv doing right after the game. Maybe going ahead, getting on those jugs. That's something, and then also, just working a little bit with Will Howard on the timing so that he can get that anticipation down. But overall, happy with the wide receivers. Emeka Buka, he didn't have a touchdown, but he almost did because the guy basically, tackled him. So I
Right.
don't hold that against him. And we got to see Emeka Buka, go out there and make plays. Also, took a nice hit while in midair, right? And then still get up, didn't make no excuses, went and kept playing ball. That's what you want to see from the Buckeyes right there, being able to take hits, still go out there, ball out. And then also, Carnell Tate, when you get him the ball, for some reason, you get that man the ball, he gonna get you a touchdown. So I like seeing that, getting Carnell involved, man. And SFE boys, man. I mean, probably you got it later on in the show notes for special teams, but we'll talk about Brandon in this probably later down the road.
Oh, for sure. He has a lot to talk about with his special teams performance today. Yeah, man, I thought Emeka Ibuka, I thought that should have been a touchdown. You look at it and it's like hand, wrist, forearm. Who knows exactly what the rule
Mm-hmm.
is there and stuff. But I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't like I thought they weren't going to score after that. I
Right.
knew they were still going to score. It is what it is. But he's going to get his at some point this season. So I have no reserve there. Hummus Hero asked David Boston, I assume in '96. I would assume so as well. I don't have David Boston's game log. I don't know if they even have game logs from back then, but his freshman year was '96, so I'm sure it was David Boston that year. Which, if you're getting talked about with David Boston, it's pretty good company.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, my question for you, man. Should Jeremiah Smith be treated like the best wide receiver on this team after one game?
I gotta say, shout out to my guy Ron from Best Damn Media, man, because he has been calling it ever since the kid committed, ever since the guy signed, ever since he just stepped foot on Ohio State campus. He said that JJ Smith is not just the best wide receiver in Ohio State's room, but in the country. And I mean, you saw the tweets, even Matt Liner talking about top 10 pick. Some people was tweeting back top 5. We saw a Marv tweet that said correction, top 3 pick. So I mean, you're seeing it, and even the one of his catches that he had, you just kept hearing it over and over from the commentators. Did he catch that with one hand? Yes, he did. And these are the things that we just kept hearing over and over in practice that Jeremiah was doing.
Man, I'm just so glad he had a great game because we heard about it the entire time in practice. I mean, all the way back to the spring. Even the spring, we
Mm-hmm.
were hearing about how great he was and how many things he was doing. And then you had that spring game, and you were like, really? You didn't really see anything. It's not like he was bad, but you just didn't see any like flash or special moments that really made you say, ooh, or wow, or something like that. But
Right.
this game, there was plenty of wow, there was plenty of ooh, and lots of great things that happened. So I love to see that. I love to see Carnell getting his as well. I think people are fine with Emeka. They know who he is. They know how talented he is, and he's going to get his here at some point. Next position we'll get to is running back, right? I mean, you had
Mm-hmm.
Trevion Henderson, Quinshawn Judkins we saw for the first time. Shout out to James Peoples with his touchdown there on the 4 yard
Mm-hmm.
run. Mike, I'm just glad that we got running backs who can run the ball in from the 5 yard line. Because, man, there for a while it was tough, but you gave it to Trevion, Quinshawn, James Peoples didn't seem to matter. They were getting that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, And it just shows you what's going to come down the line as the running backs continue to build that chemistry with the offensive line, and as the offensive line continues to build chemistry with each other. So, I mean, I'm ecstatic, and I got to go ahead and give Travion Henderson his praise because I have been hard on him, especially last year. Shout out to Trey, much improved, breaking tackles. He's not going down on the little arm tackles or the, little foot, someone hit him on his foot and stuff. He's not doing that. I love watching Trey run physical, and you just see he embraced the contact. He wasn't shying away from it. I mean, and with Quinshawn, it looked like he had a little rough patch and getting going in the beginning of the game. But as he got comfortable, you saw he started breaking some, getting those first downs. And also, he's a very, very tough rusher. Short yardage, definitely put the ball in Quinshawn's hands for sure.
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, Quinshawn, I think he had the most carries out of everybody, averaged about 4.2 yards per carry or something like that. But that's also because you're giving it to him in short yard situations.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving it to Travion, and man, it can be a home run anytime that guy touches the ball. I'm with you. You saw him being more physical. You saw him shaking and baking guys. There was that one time where he slipped on the turf. Turf monster got him. It's going to get everybody at some point this season, I'm convinced, because that's just what the turf in Ohio Stadium does. But yeah, so I think he could have really broke a big one there, but more than anything, man, it was the pass blocking from Travion Henderson. Man, you saw that hit and how excited he got afterward. And it wasn't just that hit. I mean, he was in pass pro the entire time. Really seems like that's something Coach Locke is really instilling in his guys and making sure, hey, you better be blocking if you're back there because your quarterback needs you.
Hey, as Coach Locke would say, we don't got no soft batch cookies in this room, man. So I love it. And that's the one thing, like I said, my biggest knock about Trey was just like not being physical enough, and then you heard Ryan Day in the halftime show, like talking about, we're breaking tackles or need to break tackles and stuff. And that's not what we were doing before. But that's what Coach Locke had. Ain't no soft batch cookies in this room, man. We saw even James Peoples out there being physical as a freshman, giving us a little flashes, as the commentators wanted to say, J.K. Dobbins. We're going to hold that as reserve, on that. But, I mean, I like this burst. I like what we have going in the future as well. So the running game did look good. Now, I gotta give Ohio State credit because when we was running to the outside in the previous, doing the stretch runs, we didn't really look good. But you can tell that that's something that they worked on this preseason because when they were bouncing the ball out, they looked a whole lot better than they have in previous seasons. Also, fixed the screen games. Looked way better because it didn't matter who we played, whether it was Akron, anybody, Youngstown State, the screens would never work, but they did. Shout out Chip Kelly.
Yeah, man. Chip Kelly, he comes in there, and it's obvious that he got his hands on this offense and really started holding people accountable. There were still a few times, like I think Jeremiah Smith missed a block on one of those screens. I think it was the one that Emeka Buka and the guy coming behind him, he knocked it out of his hand. So, obviously for a freshman, you're going to get better at blocking as you go, so it'll come there.